Okay.
Tierney.
Okay, y'all. So welcome to our March call. I can't believe it. I'm going to do Success Club really quick and then do some announcements, and then I'm going to let Adrienne be off and running. I have a couple questions for her at the end, and then that's it. We'll be good to go. So Success Club, let's see here. Amanda with 10. I had 6. Joss had 6. Erica Hernandez had 6. And Courtney had 2. Which, oh wait, and Adrienne, I don't think Erica put yours on here because she needs to remember to put yours on here. Did you get 12?
I think it was 10, but since it was, I guess you got 2 bonus for the team cup, so it was actually 10.
Oh, cool.
2 was like, I don't know.
Sweet. I didn't even realize that. Okay. So both you and Amanda got 10, which is killer. So just a couple things, and you guys probably, if you've seen your email yet, because they always send a March email, and they send me a Diamond Insider email, and then they send me the Coach Monthly, and I think it's the same. I think they might just add like a coach story to the Diamond one. I'm not positive. So you might have heard these, but just real quick refresher if you already did. The Ultimate Portion Fix launch is, for us, we can purchase it the 4th through the 17th. The official launch is the 18th. $20 off challenge packs, $10 off the kit. Coach test group starts on the 18th and goes all the way through May 28th. And then the reminder on that is that there's a product training guide in the back office, and that is true for all of the programs and meal plans and everything. There's training guides on everything. So just know that in your back office, you can literally just go to search and find the product training guide, and it's a really good thing to do when something's launching, so you know who this could be good for and how to talk about it. Then T20, Transform 20 is officially launching April 1st. So we're almost there on the official launch, where that means everybody who has on-demand has Transform 20 access. Last summit sale is, let's see, the 24th through the 31st. You can get your ticket for $165. It's $130 savings. Remember, summit is July 11th through the 14th. And that was everything I had in my Diamond Insider. Let's see. I'll go live and talk a little bit more about the Portion Fix with detail. Because if you've been a coach for a while, you know that we have 21-day fix, 21-day fix extreme, and then they've kind of connected to the portion control containers to almost all the programs. But now the Ultimate Portion Fix is coming out, which should be a really great program for a lot of different people. So one thing I was going to say is that I think we should set a team-wide goal for March, and I'll make a poll in the team page. We can maybe make it based on number of people we want to help collectively. What's our focus? Maybe we want to help people get to the next level with their nutrition, since we have the Ultimate Portion Fix. Whatever. I'm just going to throw down a couple ideas, and then I think in the polls I can put an option to have you guys type in maybe your own idea. But I think it would be cool if we start setting team-wide monthly goals. That way we all kind of stay connected in that way. But that's it for announcements. And I want to let Adrienne start sharing. She has an incredible journey, not only as like a coach business-wise, but just her personal transformation. She is going to tell us her story, what has recently changed for her and her business, and talk a lot about mindset. And I'm just going to let her run with it, and I'll mute right now.
Okay, thank you, Tierney, for asking me to do this. I really appreciate it, and it kind of gets me out of my comfort zone as well here. So if you haven't heard my story yet, I have about 3 years ago, I weighed 250 pounds. I'm just going to kind of go like over it pretty quickly. Um, and I just felt stuck in a rut. I was struggling just with myself and how I felt when other people would look at me, or just everything about myself. I just didn't like it. And I was not being a very good wife. I wasn't being a very good mom, for my standards of what I felt like a good mom should be, and I saw my kids started gaining weight. I wasn't in the best health. I had a pretty big health scare where I thought I was having a heart attack. And so I knew that I had to change something. And if nothing changes, I was just going to be going down the downward spiral, and who knows where I would end up. So that was basically why I needed to change my health. And I had been seeing these little colored containers that, since we're talking about the ultimate portion fix, I was just like, what is that? I need to do that. And that shake, maybe it's going to help me, lose weight. I can't seem to do it on my own. So I reached out and signed up, and I never looked back. So every single day I showed up, was all in, and no matter if I was feeling bad that day, if I had no time, I committed to doing my workout and to my meal plan. And that was really key, was having that meal plan for me and just following it to the T every day. And so that led me to lose 60 pounds. And then that's when I decided to become a coach. And then my journey continued. My goal was 100 pounds at that time, and I reached it in less than a year. And I kept submitting to the Beachbody Challenge, and finally, this kind of speaks to also mindset, because I was just kind of putting my story there because they ask you to share your why and everything. And at that time, I was just like, well, I don't know. They don't like the story. They're not reaching out to me. I don't know what's going on. So I just sat down and I dug deep into my heart, and why did I do this? What is my story really? So that's when I poured out my heart, and I won that next month, which was kind of weird. So I don't know if it was that, or if it was anything to do with how much I had lost or whatever, but it's just going for things, always just challenging myself. And when I became a coach, I kept, okay, so hang on. I'm sorry. We'll go back. I eventually ended up losing like 122 pounds. 80-day obsession helped me reach that ultimate goal. And although I submitted to the Beachbody Challenge grand prize, I didn't win or get qualified for that. It kind of had a setback in my own mind, but I just had to keep going because I'm already, this is for me, and I had to remember this is why I did it. It was for myself, not for winning anything, not for recognition, and to also have a better life for my kids and my family. They all benefited from it. They lost weight and they were learning to eat better. Our family was kind of addicted to junk food and eating out and the convenience lifestyle, and I felt a lot of guilt for that. So now everything has changed, and my kids don't like to eat out fast food, and they're learning to make better choices, and so I'm proud of that fact. And anyway, so that's kind of my fitness journey. And when I signed up to become a coach, I really didn't know what I was doing, but I just knew that I was consistent, and I've been posting stuff on my feed here and there, and I just kept doing that. I kept posting, kept showing up, sharing my story, sharing what has changed in my life and how I had changed it. And it was working sometimes here and there. My business wasn't really growing. I hit Emerald, I think, about the year after I signed up. And was kind of cool, to hit that goal, but I've kind of been stuck there. And so my goal is to grow, and I want to become diamond before summit. And recently, Tierney had reached out to me and said, you're killing it with your stories, you're killing it with your posts, everything you do is just amazing. You should have a great business. And what's happening, evaluate what is going on, what is it that you're not doing. And so I had to really be honest with myself. I wasn't doing the invites. I wasn't sitting down and doing those. And that was just really, I had to put that in front of my face and say, I can't blame somebody else. This is my business. I have to do the work. So what is it you want to do? What is it you're going to do to actually make a change? So we always get stuck in this loop of negative self-talk and limiting beliefs, self-doubt. We become impatient, frustrated. I feel like it's almost the same parallel as I felt before I had lost weight. It's the similar mindset. You're stuck. You don't know how to reach any goal, and you're just there. You're doing the same things every day, and it's not going to prove to be any more successful than the day before. So at that point in January, I had been showing up consistently, but at the end of January, I committed to using the tracker. The Success Club tracker is not a magic tool, but it is a guide. And it really helped me understand what to do in a easy to follow way. Just like the containers were easy for me to follow, this is an easy way for me to check items off the list. So I started to be more intentional about initiating connections. And that has been a big business booster. Because if I just sit around and wait for me, they're not really gonna. I had this fear too, like, well, if I ask that person, are they gonna think I'm just judging them or, wanting that something from them because of how they look or whatever it is, because there's so many different people out there and they all need help or in some way, but you just have to kind of get to know where they are at in their life at that moment. So initiating connections was a big change I had made. And then, let's see, I kind of wrote a few notes. So another thing that I learned or have been learning is if you see somebody who's doing really awesome, don't just sit there and try and be envious of that fact or just jealous about it. Instead, ask them what they're doing. Like, how are you getting these engagements? How are you getting this business growing? Seek out advice. Make your learning an obligation, not an option. So make sure you're learning about the new programs that come out. Do them start to finish. Be a product of the product. That's something that they tell you all the time, but it's just a vital behavior that's actually important. So learning about Instagram, that's so key right now. Just learning how to do it and why things work and testing different options and how, is this post going to do better? If this one does better, then do more of that. Seek out engagement groups. There are groups, fitness groups or Facebook groups that you can get into and help each other engage on Instagram to boost your post. And in that way, it'll help, just create more of like a view, or it's going to go on to the homepage or the explore page where people can actually see your post more. Learning about Facebook ads, whatever it is that you're doing right now, just learn more about it. That's another thing that I have changed recently. So let's see. Don't put labels on yourself. A lot of times I'm like, I can't do that. I don't have time. There's just not enough of me. I'm not cut out for this. the same things that I would think about before too. Like when I was overweight, I was not a disciplined person. There's no way I could do any of those workouts. There's no way I could ever be that person, you know. Don't put labels on yourself. Learn that, yeah, you can do it and you will do your best no matter what. So change that I'm not cut out for this to I'm going to do my best, or I don't have what it takes. Change that to I will learn how to do it. So don't stay fixed and don't stay stuck. Let's see. I mean, and why not you? You know, that's another thing I remember hearing at Summit. Why not me? Why not me? You know, I can do the same thing that somebody else is doing. I have my story and I'm going to use that. So instead of chasing like successes and saying, okay, I need to make sure I hit Success Club and just be obsessed with that, think about like your goals overall. So do you have a bigger goal? Set aspirations and put your whole self into what you're doing now, because it matters. Your story today matters, and putting that out on social media and sharing that matters. So I've been doing this for coaching, I guess, almost 2 years, or maybe a little over 2 years. And I haven't stopped being consistent with that. So I haven't stopped posting. Every day I show up. And maybe it's not the best thing. I've learned a lot of no's and yeses in it, but you just have to keep going. Dig deep for those reasons. What is your story? Use it, because you have a unique story and it matters. For so long, and so many people kind of struggle with the identity of who they are as a coach. And I did the same thing. Like I would go on Instagram or Facebook and I would see someone else's post and basically copy it and say, oh, this sounds good, I'm going to put it in mine. But it wasn't me. It wasn't my authentic story. It wasn't authentically me. And I probably didn't get any engagement on it because, you know, you can just tell that's really not who you are. So whatever, scroll. So let's see. What else? So I just, like I said before, started digging for the hard stuff, like the things that I really went through, the hard changes that I made, and how did I make them? Because you're speaking to somebody, you're speaking to you. You know, you want to find people who are like you. So all the people who have struggled with their weight or just their mindset and struggling about who they think they are in comparison to somebody else, you know, just being plagued and stuck in the rut, I got to think about those things. How did I get out of that? What did I do to change it? And use that in my stories and in my posts every day. And it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't like it, because you're not talking to everybody. You're just talking to those certain people. And that's just what I have to remember too. You know, if somebody's just, well, it gives me an opinion on what I do or say, I just have to chalk it up to, well, they're not who I'm reaching anyway. So it really doesn't matter. Take time to do things and do it well. So if you are creating like a freebie or something, put everything into that. You know, just pick maybe one thing to do and do it good, do it well. You know, if you can only do one post a day, just make it the best post you can, even if you're not feeling like it. Because we all have fear, and fear can be directed in 2 ways. So if you direct your fear in the right direction, it'll actually help you get more momentum. So instead of me being fearful about failure or making mistakes or offending somebody or just having uncertainty with what I'm doing, change it. So regret not doing something, fear like not taking action, fear being in the same spot next year than you are now. You know, I don't want to be in the same spot when I go to Summit this year. I don't want to wonder what if I just decided every single day to do these vital behaviors and do all my invites every day, I don't want to wonder what would have happened. So I need to implement that now. Embrace your fear, use it as energy, you know. Even the other night, I was just struggling about, should I really invite this person? What are they going to think about me? Or, you know, it's a struggle. I still struggle with it. But I'm like, you know, send it anyway. And most of the time, the response I get is, oh, I'm so glad you reached out to me. And even if they're not ready at that moment, eventually they will be. So just keep being positive, and what's the worst that can happen? They can say no. So another tip that I remember Jocelyn giving me, this was about a year ago, maybe even more, is to keep it simple. And that was one of the biggest things that I remember changing as well. And instead of just being like, oh, we have this program, da da da, and list out all this stuff, this challenge pack, and all these terms that they have no clue what you mean, just say, this is what you need, let's get it ordered, you know. Or I don't know if this is what you would, if you would be interested in this, but, and then just invite them. And most of the time when I do that, I don't know if you're interested in this, but it takes the pressure off of them and kind of will allow them to just say, yeah, sounds like a good idea, or no, not right now, or whatever it is. And then another thing is, if I don't have like a whole bunch of time, I'm just going to focus on the little time that I do have. So making sure that I am intentional with the time and making it pay off. And let's see. And if you miss a couple days, just jump in harder the next day. Let me see. So I guess to wrap it up is kind of, I feel like no matter what you do, everything that you're doing today is going to pay off. So I can't say that I didn't learn anything or I was doing bad over these last couple of years, because everything I did is paying off now. So people who didn't join me 2 years ago maybe are joining me now. There will be people who will want to join me right away, but then there's others that will see my consistency over the long haul and then finally say, you know, what I've been doing isn't working, so I'm going to help. I'm going to ask her for help, or go ahead and give that a try. That's what I feel like is one of my biggest strengths, is consistency. I show up every day. People are always watching. Will she give up? Is she going to gain the weight back? Is this a fad? You know, no, it's not. So consistency really does matter. Even if you struggle with your own nutrition and your own whatever, workouts, anything in your life, just share that. And it's going to be inspire people no matter what. Let's see. So I guess that's basically all I have. And if I just feel like if you can believe in yourself, just go for it. And what's the worst that can happen? You're not going to fail. You just got to keep going. Believe that you can actually do it. And so that's just my mindset. That's my switch the past few months. And really the last month, that was actually Success Lab 10 is probably the highest I've actually ever gotten. So I just don't want to lose the momentum, and I just want to keep things going that have worked for me, because when you do the work, it works. Just like doing a workout, just like eating right, everything will work if you just put in the work. So that's basically all that I thought about talking about. I don't know.
That was great. Really helpful. And I just kind of wrote down a couple things, like scratched it down real quick. But just you saying that you went all in, you showed up, you committed to your personal transformation, you share your real story, and you share it so consistently. You're like one of the people I've seen who you do it so well. And so, by the way, that was a good tip too. Like, go see what people are doing that are successful. And so go creep on Adrienne and see how she kind of lines out some of her posts. You do it so well. You always start with a catchy something at the top, get through a little bit of your story, and you have a great picture that you just want to see. What the heck are you talking about? So important. You share your real story and share it all the time. Other things I wrote down: being a product of the product. Let's see. Oh yeah, and I remember you had mentioned before those engagement groups that you do. I didn't even realize what they were. But if you guys didn't hear that portion, she's got people like helping her. They're engaging on her posts, and you're doing that for other people, right?
Yes.
And you get a lot of action on Instagram. Is that all like organic? Just you've just done that yourself?
Yeah, like I haven't done any weird boosting. I mean,
You haven't paid for anything?
No, I haven't paid for anything with like likes or anything like that. It's just weird because there was just this one time I saw a post and it just like went crazy. And ever since then, it seems like my posts have just been consistent and consistently growing. And when I look at the insights, it's just amazing to see how many people have interacted with it and what they are, so that's kind of crazy. That's another thing. If you don't have a business Instagram, you can't see your insights. But like this one of my recent posts, my transformation picture, if you can see, it shows you how many actions were taken or whatever, and the reach. So this one has a reach of like 14,800 people. And so another thing that I have kind of struggled with was, should I make all my posts more like that, And I feel like it's not, I don't know. That's just not what I want to do. But if your transformations are doing the best, maybe you post more of those, That's kind of, I'm struggling because I like doing other things and sharing other stuff, but
yeah, that's a good point. And that's what you'll hear in almost every social media training is notice what's working on your page and keep doing more of that. Of course, you can work in other things because you're more than just a transformation post. But if those posts are getting the most engagement, then make sure you're at least doing one every week, because that's what your people like. And the people don't lie. And I think probably because one of the reasons why you get such a good engagement, I think there's multiple reasons, but it's probably because you continuously share your story. And that's what people are looking for, is a connection piece. And you've been doing it so well. So I think like there's a lot there, and I think that's someone Adrienne is someone to creep on if you guys are feeling like your page isn't moving or you don't have anything to put out there. Just go get some ideas. Of course, make it your own. But that was really great and really helpful. Did Luis or Carrie Dane, does anyone have anything to add or ask questions on?
Yeah, what do you use to take your pictures? Because they're all so clear and like amazing.
I just use my phone, but the filter, Snapseed is the app that I use. Let me see. So
you don't do like portrait mode or anything specific like that?
I do actually do portrait mode. Most of the time, unless it's like a full body picture, I do portrait mode on everything. My food, my selfies, all that is usually portrait mode. Okay. And then I go into Snapseed and I brighten it up. There's a couple options that I like on Snapseed, which I'll tell you. If you go to the photo, And tools, I don't know if you can see this, but this is Snapseed, and there's all these tools, and you can go to HDR Scape. I like to hit that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the picture. But you can also adjust filter on it. So here's just a selfie or something, and then click the check mark, and there's more looks that you can go through. So depending on your page and what kind of look you want, you can make it look however. I like the bright colors. I like to pop it. So pop is also one of my favorite filters on here. So like pop just kind of pops everything, makes my eyes look brighter or whatever. Whatever your scheme is, because that's another tip too for Instagram, is look at your Instagram feed. Look at it. Is it consistent? Are the colors consistent? You don't have to always do like a color theme. You could, but just go look at people's pages that you like. See what kind of things you like. What is your eye attracted to? My eye is attracted to more bright things that pop, colors. So that's what I try to do on my page, is just more of a pop, kind of a bright color. So this is in my feed right now. Well, you can see it, but it's just like bright in your face,
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Not everybody would like that, but whatever you like, do that. So if you like a more muted color, pick that. However,
do you do a lot of call to actions like polls, questions, the swipe deal, anything like that on your stories? And do you get a lot of engagement from that?
I do make sure that I do a lot of little things. Instagram really likes that. They like you to use their features. So I try to use a poll. I try to use just any little thing they have. Use the GIFs, use the location, use hashtags. Another thing I've found is I'll get more reach if you use specific hashtags. You just have to try it out. It's so weird. Like sometimes my stories, if I'm just letting them go without any hashtags, the reach or the views maybe would be like 200, 300 people. And if I go and I put a hashtag or two hashtags in there, the reach could get up to like 1,000 or 1,500 people, whatever. I don't know. There was one that was like almost 2,000. I mean, I don't know what typically anyone else's stories do. This is just mine. So, and it was funny the other day, I put a hashtag that it's not relevant to my workout or anything, but I put Target clearance. I like Target clearance. I put that in my story. And what the funny thing is, I got a couple of people messaging me, in your other folder, why are your stories coming up on this? It doesn't have anything to do with that. So can you stop? And I just thought it was hilarious because they're seeing it and they're taking the time to tell me something. So it's just
told you to stop.
Yeah, they're like, I follow that hashtag. Can you just stop?
Wow.
So
stop.
to what I say to that is no. I'm not gonna stop.
Did you say your Instagram is just like a regular profile, or did you say you made it like a business profile?
I did make it a business, so that allows you to go in and see.
Is that how you can see all the like the stats and stuff that you're talking about? Oh, okay, that's cool.
And when you do that, you actually have to link it to a Facebook page. And for a long time, I didn't even have a Facebook like page. Like I barely made one. This was a goal of mine for like a year, and it took me that long to do it. You guys, I paid for somebody to make a cover photo last year of June. This is how, that was not a good use of my investment because I sat on it for this long. But or sitting, I'm going to make things happen. So you do have to link it to a Facebook. So if you don't have one right now, you can just create one, publish it. That would are allowing yourself to have an Instagram business account even if you don't have the Facebook. It would cause me issues because I couldn't share my story on Facebook with my Instagram, like on my regular Facebook. I couldn't link it. So that's why I was like, I need to just set up my Facebook page and then try to get more reach on Facebook, learning about like Facebook ads. So that's my next step and goal, even though Facebook isn't really where it's at right now, but there's still people there. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was so great. I have a crazy person here, but I just wanted to remind you guys, we've got the Team Rockstar Fit Zoom on Thursday, and it's a live Zoom. So she just goes live in the Team Rockstar Fit page. I think it's 7 our time. I could be wrong, just checking that page. We still got Rank Up Bank Up going. Even if you haven't been in there going with us, you can still join. We're going to go until June 6th on Rank Up Bank Up. And then, let's see here. Success Club prizes, I have shirts, I have sweatshirts coming, and I have high performance planners and personal development books. So I am getting those out, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for getting on, you guys. That was great, Adrienne. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.